Welcome to the Vault Archons. This is the Keeper of Keys, Kraz, and today we are going to talk about rarity, odds, and things related to collectability. According to most people's data mining and a combination thereof, it looks like the odds of a Maverick is about 1 in every 26 decks. The odds of any specific rare are about the same. So if you want, for example, if you want a Restringuntus, you have about the same chance of getting a Restringuntus as you do of getting a Maverick. The odds of getting a powerful Maverick combined with a powerful creature is going to be exceptionally low. The odds of that is just going to be really uncommon. So you're not going to see very many of these kind of pairings at all, where the Maverick works well with other power cards in the deck, and this pairing right here is an example of a Maverick combining with another card to make that other card just better. Now this isn't a complete board clear, but it's still really good. It does help with Restringuntus, and then things like this just become more powerful. You know, when you talk about the other cards that can then belong with it. Like a Rise and stuff. And so, basically you have a 1 in 26 chance of getting a Maverick, any Maverick. And then you have, there's about 370 cards. Not all of them are going to be Mavericks. So, to get a specific Maverick, say you wanted to find another Earthshaker. We'll just use the Earthshaker as an example. You want an Earthshaker Maverick. So, you're going to have to open 9,620 packs of Keyforge to find essentially one copy of all them one copy of a specific Maverick. That's just your general odds. So that means that as of this video, there were 298,218 registered decks of Keyforge online. I assume 60% of the decks are registered, so that leaves us with 497,030, so approximately 500,000 decks available. If you end up dividing that number by the number of Mavericks total, your odds of getting a specific Maverick, you end up with about 51 of any individual Maverick in the game. So there's going to be 51 Maverick Earthshakers, 51 Maverick Restringuntuses, 51 Maverick everything. Now, on top of that, if you want the Maverick in a specific house, you have 7 houses, right? And so there's only going to be 7 Mavericks of any kind in any specific house. Now, technically, the Maverick came from a house, so that would be probably more like 8 Mavericks, because there's only 6 other houses for it to be in. So, but overall, all I'm trying to point out is as you narrow your requirements for what you're looking for, the odds that you're going to see another Earthshaker in Dis, there's probably another 6 Earthshakers in Dis in the entire available set of Keyforge. So that means that there's only 7 of these guys available at all, and that doesn't include the makeup of the deck itself. So is the deck any good? No idea. So the odds you're not only going to get the Maverick you want, but then also get a powerful deck to go along with it is really rare. Now this guy isn't in the most powerful deck. It's a cool deck. It's an interesting deck. A lot of which is because of the Maverick and the combinations of the cards that are in it. That just kind of make it a board wipe, play Restringuntus, try and end the game using Restringuntus because you have so little Amber control. It's all kind of centered around the combination of these kind of cards. So that's your odds of basically getting a Maverick. So any Maverick, basically there's 51 of them approximately available. So there's going to be 51 of any specific Maverick. Next, let's look at Masters. So Masters is another card that people have been talking about. The odds of any specific Master, so the odds of getting a Master in general is about 1 in 48. So out of 48 decks, you're going to get 1 Master. And there's 3 Masters total, so that's 144 decks to get 1 of each Master, essentially. Now, of course, that's just random odds, so you may not get that. And that also means that there's going to be about 3,451 of each master in the current set. So there's going to be another 3,451 masters of 2. Now, of course, those are all in discs, so the number's actually considerably smaller than that. It's based on how many decks there are. So I don't know the percentage of the decks that contain discs, and so I didn't reduce that number even further. But it probably brings it closer down to like the 500-ish range of the total number of masters. Now, like I said, I don't have the numbers on that. So, and now because we were also talking about rares, right? Rares themselves. Now we're going to talk about double rares. This is a little bit more of an interesting topic in my opinion. So double rares. Now you have your regular rares. Your regular rares have about the same chance as a Maverick appearing to get a specific rare. And so you're looking at about the same odds for a specific rare as you are for a Maverick. But then when you start talking about double rares, you're looking at a much smaller fraction of potential decks to have a double rare. Double rares are going to be exceptionally rare to get the specific one you want, and probably similar to the odds of getting a specific Maverick. And so if you want a double, Overlord Grekking, you're gonna have the odds of about, there's probably gonna be about 51-ish or so pairings of double Overlord Grekking in the game, but it's going to be reduced because it's only it has to be the number of disc decks. So you're going to find even less pairs of double Overlord Grekking than you would a specific Maverick. So the odds of basically double rares is really low. The odds of triple uncommons is also exceptionally low. These are all essentially the rares, the really rare-ish cards in the game, and the reason I wanted to cover this is I kind of wanted people to understand that certain things are considerably rare in Keyforge. Double rares, there's not going to be a huge number of them. So if you find a double rare and it's in a decent deck, a playable deck, not a terrible deck, but one that's actually playable and you can actually win some games with it. And I'm not talking about on the competitive level. I don't think that the double rares of the Mavericks or these things are going to be now some of them may be in the best decks, but and they probably will be, but my point is when you start talking about just the rare stuff that's going to be out there that's going to be kind of cool to get a hold of, I personally, the stuff that I'm looking for is things like double rares, triple uncommons of powerful creatures, not of everything, only the powerful stuff. So, for example, I'm not looking for a Maverick Hallow Blaster. I don't care about a Maverick Hallowed Blaster at all. But I would care about a Maverick Hallowed Blaster if it was in a really powerful deck, because then it's a powerful deck with a Maverick in it. But I would like, say, for example, an Arise Maverick, even if it was in a trash deck. And the reason is Arise itself is a super powerful card, and it's going to be in the meta. And so it's going to be considered one of the better cards. And so having a Maverick of one of the best cards, Maverick Restrin Guntuses, Maverick Snecklifters, Maverick Arise, Maverick, of a lot of these like just powerful cards, Maverick Bait and Switch, Maverick Too Much to Protect. The list goes on and on of these really powerful cards that are going to be available. Maverick Witch of the Eye, Maverick Nouveau Archaeologist, like the ones that do cool and powerful things or have the ability to do cool and powerful things are going to be desirable cards. Now the last two I listed are starting to go on the lower rungs of power because they have other cards that they require to be powerful. But my point is you can find good Mavericks that are still powerful Mavericks all on their own. They don't need the deck to be cool. They're just a powerful and cool Maverick all by themselves. And I personally, now other people may disagree with me, but I personally don't care if I have a really powerful Maverick in a trash deck. Because the really powerful Maverick is the whole reason I want the deck. I don't care about the trash deck. I care about the Maverick. And so I think that is somewhere that I think is going to gain value when you start talking about like these kind of decks from a collector's standpoint, just because of the extreme rarity of these things. I now own 2% of Earthshaker Mavericks. So that can't be understated. I own 2% of Earthshaker Mavericks. That's a big deal, in my opinion. So I do think that it's pretty cool when you start seeing these kind of things. And of course, Restaurant Gunta says there's going to be a ton of those. I don't know how many there's going to be entirely, but it's going to be a much larger number than a specific Maverick. And Masters, there's more of those than there are specific Mavericks, but there are less Masters than, for example, all Mavericks combined. So these are just things I think that people should keep an eye open for. Just kind of cool cards to see. Cool cards that I think are generally just going to make it into the meta, or are going to make it into collectors, because collectors are going to find these things cool. So have a great day.